Hi there, Splashman Splash here. I'm making a King guide. This is like the first attempt at making this guide, and basically I kind of want to just cover the basics of how to play King. If you're an advanced player or if you already know how to play King, I'm not very confident this guide is going to help you out. This is pretty much for people who are like ranked in Tekken. You just picked up the character, or maybe you're still in like the beginner ranks and you're deciding to switch to King. That's kind of like what I'm hoping to cover in this guide. So a little bit about King. As a character, he's a grappler character, which means he likes to throw people. His move list is filled with throws. He has more throws than any other character in Tekken. I mean, that's kind of like King in a nutshell. So, how do you throw people with King? So a lot of King players, you're going to try and like buffer your throw inputs behind the recovery frame of certain moves. And if you don't know what buffering means, it basically means that while the move is recovering, I'm going to do the input for the throw. That recovery window is going to hide any changes in my character's appearance. So normally, if I was to do giant swing, that forward quarter circle forward input, his head's gonna move. But if I jab and then do it, he doesn't do that. So the reason why I'm doing giant swing for my demonstrations is, one, it's his fastest throw. Two, the input gives a very obvious tell if you're like observing the King player, if you're watching what he's doing. If your opponent is watching what you're doing, they're going to see that. The main thing, if you want to like simplify King, he's going to do moves, he's going to buffer throws behind the moves, or he's going to do a mid check. So this guide is pretty much going to explain how that process works. So you can buffer throws behind his one jab, his two jab, his 1-2, his 1-2-1, which is that, his 2-1. You can also buffer a throw behind down back 3, down 4. Those are some of his moves that you can buffer buffer throws behind. I'm not going to go into like every single move that you can do, because you can probably buffer it against or behind a lot of moves, but those are like the basic moves that you're probably going to be doing a lot of. 1-2 and 2-1 are also King's 10 frame punishes. So if someone hits you with a move, you can do that. You can do a 10 frame punish into a throw attempt, because you should be +8. If your opponent is ducking your throw attempts, or if you notice your opponent is ducking, like they block the first hit of your 1-2 and they duck the 2, you might jab into like a mid check. So mid checks basically are mids that will hit your opponent if they duck. In Tekken, highs can be blocked by stand blocking, or they can be evaded by ducking. Most throws in the game are considered highs, so you can evade a throw by ducking, or you can counter the throw by doing the throw break input at the right time. Starting out, most people you play against are not going to have good throw breaks, so you're going to see a lot more people trying to duck. So some mid check options that you have with King: down 4-1. If it lands, it's +3. If it's blocked, you're like -1. At -1, technically it's their turn, but you still have options to counter them. You can sidestep them, you can duck them, or you can just block them. Because you're only -1 in that situation, your opponent's going to need to do a very quick move if they want to interrupt you. So it makes it pretty easy to predict what your opponent's going to do. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a high. If your opponent goes for like hop kicks after they block your 1-2 string, then you can punish them appropriately depending on how negative their move is. That kind of like summarizes that. So I think I showed down forward 1. So yeah, down forward 1, down forward 2, forward 1 plus 4. His chest bump. If it hits, he's plus 7. If it's blocked, he's plus 3. So a lot of times what you'll see is a 1-2 into like a chest bump and then go into like a throw. You can buffer the throw behind 1 plus 4 because the character is still close enough, even if the move hits, for you to. They're still close enough for you to do your throw attempt, and they're also minus enough to where they can't jab out of your throw. And you might even get a counter hit throw as well, which is absurd in terms of the breakup of it. Another option that you have 4-4 neutral 1 plus 2. That move right there. So you can kind of do your little jabs and then go into the push. On block, he is still on neutral, so there's no advantage for you, no advantage for them. It's pretty much like you reset your neutral at ground 0. If it lands, plus 7. Now the downside to this is that you are not close enough to go for a throw. So if I try to grab, I'm too far away, as you can see. So why would you go for this particular move? Well, if you get a counter hit, back 3 is guaranteed. You can also get a heating gauge as well, and then go into Jaguar Sprite. So basically, forward, neutral. You have to put the neutral in there. Neutral basically means don't hit any directions for a frame, and then you can resume. If you get the counter hit, you have guaranteed follow-ups. That's going to work against people who like to press buttons. Even if it's not a counter hit, you're still like plus 7, so you might be able to do like a, move like this. Well, that might be a little bit too slow, but you have options of what you can do. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else that I need to cover with that. Because, obviously you're down back 3 is another move, down 4. You can buffer your throws behind that. 1 plus 4, you can buffer your throws behind that. Oh. Another mid-check option is forward 3. So forward 3 and hop kick are both 15 frames. If you know your opponent's going to duck, the hop kick pretty much gives you a full combo. I'm not going to go over the combos in this video. There's plenty of combo guides for every character. That, and also I don't have like super optimal combos to show you. The downside to the hop kick is if you're wrong, you're minus 13 and your opponent can punish you. If you're fighting a Mishima character, that 1-1-2 is a 10 frame punish, and for the character I am matched up against, he basically gets to go into his Vortex, Hell Sweep, or Electric, or 4-4-3 mix-up, which is something you don't want to have to experience. So what's the other option? Forward 3. If it lands, you're plus 1, but you also have the throw follow-up, which is like this. It's a just frame 1 plus 2. As forward 3 hits, puts him on the ground. I'll probably make a video later on to discuss like your Oki options with King. I kind of need to practice a little bit more of it to have a somewhat decent guide available for you. But the benefit of 4-3 versus he's on block all. The benefit of 4-3 versus some of these other moves is he's minus 8 if it's blocked. Is your turnover? Yes. At minus 8, there's not much you're going to be able to do. But can your opponent get a punish on you? No. Typically speaking, the fastest moves in the game are 10 frames. If you're -8, you are safe enough to where you should be able to block before your opponent can react to what you're doing. So being able to land those moves right there will hopefully stop your opponent from ducking too much. Once they stop ducking, you can go for throws. King has some of the best command throws in the game. Giant swings, you want to twisters, alright, Shining Wizard. I'll probably make another video detailing his throws and benefits of throws that he has. But this video is kind of like their bare bones, your options when you're up close to your opponent to kind of like get you started. You have other options as well that you can do, but this is kind of like the, I guess, the safe gameplay loop that you have with him up close. So with that being said, I have been Splashing Splash, and this is going to conclude part 1 of my King Beginner's Guide. For the next guide, I think I'm going to go into the different throws that King has that you're probably going to be doing at a beginner level. Pros and cons. I might be able to go over some Oki situations for each throw. I kind of expect that guide to be a little bit longer